You may have seen me on the Grammys with Tyler, the Creator, lighting the dynamite, but you may not know what it took to get there or what that process was like. So let's get into it. So first off, how I got to work with Tyler, it was the most random blessing of all time. I got to work with him at Camp Flog. He direct booked me. I did not have to audition. I would assume I did a great job at Camp Flog because he came back and booked me for Grammys. But let's get to the dynamite. This is what I want to share with y'all. Sparking that dynamite was beyond stressful because at rehearsal, I couldn't successfully spark the dynamite. You know what I'm saying? At first, I'm supposed to be in a contortion move, holding a lighter, and Tyler glides up to me and he sparks the dynamite. Now, because Tyler had already been performing for some minutes or rehearsing for some minutes before we get to the dynamite scene, mind you, that's in the very end of the performance. I'm in a contortion move with the lighter lit and he's trying to spark the flint. And we're kind of like off balance a little bit because, you know, he's already mid-performing, he's already moving, he's breathing. It was hard to get it to light. And he never stressed me about not getting it to light, never once at all. 5 minutes before the Grammys performance, I decided to change something up. Instead of me dancing first and being in a contortion move and having Tyler come up and we try to light it, I go up to Tyler and just light it. On top of that, I had 2 lighters in hand to get it lit. I had a crackhead lighter and a torch in the same hand. Tyler wanted the crackhead lighter because it has a bigger flame. It's about visuals. And we actually didn't rehearse with that, so it made it even more stressful. I'm like, we never even rehearsed with this lighter. And they gave me a new lighter 5-10 minutes before we hit the stage. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna go up to Tyler and light it. I told production, this is a much better idea that caters to the vision. I wanna make sure we get that dynamite lit. I successfully lit the dynamite, went up to Tyler, lit the dynamite. Mission accomplished. That was my main thing. I'm not worried about my dance moves in this current time. I wasn't worried about the crowd. I wasn't worried about the cameras. I wasn't nervous, nothing. My main thing was you better get this dynamite lit, bro. I can't be that guy that's known for not being able to light the dynamite at the Grammys. It would have been the wrong headliner. It would have been over with. When I made sure it was lit, then I'll start doing my thing. So that's the story behind the Grammys and the dynamite and Tyler working with him and how it came about. I have a project coming out with Earl Sweatshirt very soon. So I've got to work with a few Odd Future members, and luckily enough, they didn't book me through each other. I was lucky enough to get booked right after I worked with Earl Sweatshirt, and I thought maybe they'd been talking to each other, but Earl didn't even know that I was working with Tyler. At Camp Flog, my trailer was right across from Earl's, and Earl seen me perform with Tyler and I'm going back to my trailer. Earl's like, yo, what up? Yo, congratulations. I'm like, yo, what's up, bro? Like, yo, this is crazy. How is it possible that I worked with 3 Odd Future members now? I can't tell y'all who the first one is because that project is still pending, and because of contracts and legal situations, I can't say anything. But that's the 3rd Odd Future member I worked with. I'm like, are y'all talking or something? He was like, nah, bro, it's your time. You the one. I promise you, bro. Earl Sweatshirt told me, you the one. It's your time. You feel me? So that's how I ended up working with Tyler. I assume I did a great job because he brought me back for the Grammys, which is huge. So Tyler, thank you. I had to just share that moment and experience. It was a blast, bro. And being on stage for the 2nd time with Tyler, I would say I was a little more nervous at Camp Flog, mainly because I've never done like a live performance to that degree. It was in front of 40,000 people. I was not necessarily nervous. I more so had a little butterflies. I was anxious to just get up there and do my thing, but I was also like, you can't mess up. You cannot mess this up. You feel me? So when it came to the Grammys, I'm a lot more seasoned, a lot more confident now. I wasn't stressing about the cameras. I wasn't stressing about who was in the building, who was in the crowd, none of that. I was stressing about lighting that dynamite, bro. I did not want to be known for being that guy that could not light the dynamite, bruh. I couldn't do it. I had to get that dynamite lit. So I went straight up to him, bow, lit it. It got lit. So that's the experience and story behind how I got to work with Tyler, for those that wanted to know. And that's the story behind the dynamite. I've seen a lot of articles that talked about the dynamite being lit, talked about the performance, and I just wanted to share a little more insight on that story and how it came about. Obviously, it was all Tyler's idea. It was all his idea. You know, bro's a mastermind. But getting that dynamite lit, it was definitely, it was a mission, bro. It was definitely a mission. It was a mission. So that's my story behind working with Tyler, the Creator, the Grammys, Camp Flog, Gnaw, and lighting that dynamite. When I got the call, I was just overly ecstatic. Some of you may or may not know the things I've been going through. I've been taking a lot of unnecessary losses lately. And so to be able to direct book with Earl Sweatshirt and Tyler, the Creator, and another art feature member, these are all direct bookings, no audition. That's a blessing in disguise. That means that they see my work, or they knew that they had the right one. So I wouldn't take it for granted at all. It was a blast.